You are listening to Saskatchewan Weekend. It is Sunday, the 3rd day of June. You might remember back in April, I introduced you to a man who is going to canoe to New Orleans from Saskatchewan. Yes, you heard me say that right. He's going to canoe to New Orleans from Saskatchewan, and he's doing it in honor of his late Uncle Mitch. Michel Lemont, Uncle Mitch, known around Gravelbourg throughout his life as Mon Oncle. Dominic Liberon will be leaving on Friday. His journey begins in East End, and let's catch up with him to see how he's doing this morning. Dominic, how are you doing this morning?
Real good. How are you, Dan?
I'm doing great. So as the Friday departure date gets closer and closer, how are you feeling about this canoe trip to New Orleans?
Well, I'm anxious to get it underway. It's been something that's consumed a lot of my time as far as the preparations are concerned. I've been working on it very hard, and now it's time to let the good times row.
Good times row. Okay, I caught that at the end. For those who are just joining our conversation, what's the purpose of your trip?
There's two purposes. The first is to celebrate the life of my uncle, Mitch Hammond, and the second is to raise awareness about heart disease because Mitch was very young when he passed away from a heart attack. He was only 42 years old.
And where did your love of canoeing come from, and why did you think this was possible?
Well, I got the taste for canoeing quite young, actually, through the Boy Scout movement, and it's something that I really enjoyed. And during the flood of the Red River in 1997, I worked with an association called Save Our Seine, and there's the Seine River in Winnipeg, and we basically spent the summer canoeing along the river, cleaning it up and testing the water, and as well as building riffles and planting trees along the bank to keep it from eroding. And it came from there, and I've done a lot of canoeing on my own as well.
And now, if you had not told me that it was possible to canoe from Saskatchewan to New Orleans, I wouldn't have thought it was possible. How possible is this? Are there easy riverways for you to travel, or is there some portaging to be done?
Well, it's not very well known. Most people, when they hear about rivers in Western Canada, they just assume that they eventually flow into the Hudson's Bay, and most do. But there are a few rivers in Saskatchewan and Alberta that flow south into the Gulf of Mexico. There's the Frenchman River, which is the first river that I'll be on. And then there's also the Milk River, which I will meet up in Montana. And there probably will be some portaging in the Frenchman and on the Milk as far as beaver dams and maybe some deadfall is concerned. Once I get to the Milk River, there are a few diversion dams, but nothing too major. There's no major obstacles there. The big challenges as far as portages are concerned is going to be on the Missouri River. There's some huge dams that have been put across the river, and that will definitely be challenging. But so will the wind in South Dakota and North Dakota. That's definitely going to be an obstacle.
Do you need to get permission to do this? And I don't mean from your parents or friends or loved ones, but do you need to get permission from anybody to do this, or can you just put the boat in the water and go?
Well, as far as canoeing in Saskatchewan is concerned, you don't need permission as long as you stay below the high water mark when it's time to camp. You're okay that way. I did need to get a special form that allowed me to cross the border, beyond a border crossing. It's called an I-68.
Okay.
And then once I enter the United States, it's just like entering the United States with a vehicle. I have 6 months.
Okay. CanoeToNewOrleans.com is Dominic's website, and you can see pictures there of Mon Oncle, his Uncle Mitch, and some other things that are going on. Are you still looking for folks to support you financially and looking for help as part of the trip right now? Can people get involved with you if they'd like to?
Yes, it is possible, and it's definitely something that I encourage because I want to include as many people in this project as possible because heart disease is the number one killer of women in Canada, and it's the number 2 killer of men. It's something that we're all faced with, and a big part of my project is to raise awareness and to get people talking about heart disease and to get them talking about the consequences of not taking the health of their heart seriously. And I know it's not a pleasant thing to talk about, but it is a very important thing to talk about. And if they want to make donations or if they'd like to partner with Canoe to New Orleans, I invite them to check out the website at www.canoe-to-New-Orleans. As far as equipment is concerned, I have basically everything that I need. I was able to find some very good partners from an equipment point of view, and right now the challenge will be raising enough money to cover my food budget.
Now, let me ask you this. You're leaving from the campground located in East End on Friday. You say you're going to get going around 1 o'clock. As you put your canoe in the water for the first time and then start to paddle, what do you think is going to be going through your mind?
I think I'm going to be thinking of my uncle and just be very thankful for the time that I got to share with him. And he was a huge influence on my life, and he touched a lot of lives, not just my own. He was everyone's favorite uncle, even people that weren't related to him. And I mean, it's definitely very sad that he's no longer with us, but that doesn't mean that we can't remember all the good memories that we have of him.
I have many, many good memories of your uncle, and I only met him once. canoetoneworleans.com. That's the website. Dominic LeBron will be taking off to New Orleans from East End, from Saskatchewan. Canoeing to New Orleans from Saskatchewan. It is possible. Dom, I'm going to catch up with you along the way, but Godspeed to you, my friend, and good luck when you put the boat in the water, and best of luck, my friend.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that, Dan.